All right, we got questions for Kiana. Go ahead.
Well, where's your head at going into this weekend, knowing it's senior day, but for a team in your position, that's not really the end, right?
Right. Yeah, I mean, we hope not, at least. We are excited. I'm excited. It's always fun to play at home. It's kind of bittersweet that this could be the last time. But we know, like, especially after the first time we played Xavier, and, like, Butler's a very good team, too. I've honestly been more focused on the game than, like, the senior night part of it. I mean, I'm very excited for, like, senior night and, like, just to kind of wrap up a lot of things. But for the most part, I'm just more excited for the volleyball, I think.
People say that a lot of seniors have a tendency to say, God, man, it went quick. Did it go quick for you?
It did, yeah. I'd say, like, the days sometimes feel long, but the weeks and years definitely go really fast. Especially, I feel like this past year has just, like, flown by, especially, like, knowing, like, every road trip is, like, the last time you'll play here, the last time you'll play there. It just really put it into perspective this year, and it went really fast, yeah.
It's been a couple months since you've seen Xavier.
Mm-hmm.
What do you feel like the team is a lot better than it was back in September?
Yeah, I feel like we've just kind of had more time to play together, so we're just a little bit more connected, like, on the court. I also just feel like we're a little bit grittier. Like, we've been working on that a lot in the gym, just, like, really never giving up on any points, and I think that'll definitely help us.
Did you have, like, I don't know, a vision board or a goal list when you decided kind of before senior day that you wanted to come back next year, that you weren't really, senior wasn't going to be your last year? How many of those things have you checked off?
Yeah, I wouldn't really say, like, I necessarily had a list. Like, I kind of just knew, like, how the season would go, and, like, just, like, wanting to accomplish everything that, like, past teams have, but also I feel like wanting to, like, connect with my teammates more and just really, like, soak in every experience, you know, on and off the court. And I feel like that's, like, helped me a lot to, like, know, to make connections, like, off the court and, like, enjoy the volleyball and the not volleyball.
You guys have down the stretch, obviously, Xavier gets your attention because of what happened last time. But
Mm-hmm.
you can't think about what's next. You have to think about what's in front of you. How do you stay focused like that, knowing that in a couple of weeks you're going to be playing like the elimination round?
Yeah, I feel like it just kind of comes down to, like, treating every game like it could be the last. So then, like, when you are in that situation, like, it doesn't feel that different. So I feel like treating each game like it's the most, I mean, Coach Booth always says it, like, it's the most important game of the season. So just really focusing on what's ahead of us, like, one step at a time. And then when we do get to those pressure situations, it won't feel much different. So
You alluded to it earlier about the possibility of hosting, maybe playing another match here.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys talk about that?
a tiny bit. I mean, like, we'd all be excited to play here again. But we have had a couple losses, so we're not really sure exactly where we'll end up. So it's fun to think about, but we haven't really focused on it too much.
You know, this winning streak you guys have been on, it's been fairly lopsided in the sets themselves, the matches themselves.
Yeah.
What did you, were you, I don't know, this is kind of weird, but, like, were you kind of, like, intrigued, I guess is the word I'll use, to lose set one at St. John's and kind of have to
Kind of regroup a little bit, yeah.
See if you're still gritty enough.
Yeah, we kind of talked about it a little bit, and we were kind of, I wouldn't say, like, glad that we lost a set, but, like, glad to be pushed at least, like, really, like, pushed to a point where, like, we did lose a set and, like, have to, like, come together and be like, okay, like, something has to change, like, how are we going to get out of this? Because, like, yeah, I mean, in the last couple of games, like, we had come out on top, I wouldn't say easily, but, like, by, like, a fair margin.
Yeah.
And so I definitely was, like, kind of good and, like, kind of good to, like, be back in that mindset of, like, okay, like, something has to change. How are we going to do this? Like, let's regroup before set two. So, yeah.
Question for Alex.
Is this your second senior day interview?
It is my second senior day interview, yeah. So,
Do you use the same answers, or
what?
does it mean the same to you? Does it use the same answers, or is it different?
No, I think it's definitely different. I mean, spending 4 years at one place and then having a different experience here. I think they're both very similar. I had great experiences at both, and I'm sad that both seasons have come to an end. So, yeah.
I was going to say, how is it different here than, like, down at Rice?
Yeah, I think that, like, one thing that was just huge coming here is, like, the fan base. Of course, at Rice we had awesome people, but I honestly don't think I've ever seen a fan base that, like, Creighton has anywhere else. The fans are just so engaged and involved, and exciting, just the atmosphere that we have over in Sokol. I'm going to miss that, and that was amazing to be a part of, just even for 1 year.
How's this season felt for you, especially the second half of it, where it seemed like you're more like yourself, the player you believed you were, as opposed to the one who kind of had to fight through some physical adversity?
Yeah, I mean, it's been great. I feel like this season flew by. I mean, I feel like I say that every year, but just with the schedule that we had, I felt like we traveled a lot. So we'd come home and we're back on the road again, which I think sped things up. And just like this second half, I feel like I've gotten a lot more comfortable and just in a groove with everyone. I feel like our team is playing more together than we ever have, which has also, I feel like, contributed to my success. So it's been really great and really fun, and I'm excited to see what the next few weeks have in store for us.
Having so much balance up front
Yeah.
and everything, just how big is that, or how big is it?
Yeah.
To have so many hitters up front?
I think it's just like amazing to have such a balanced offense. I think at any given time in a game we could go to one hitter, and just having 3 different options in the front row really challenges the team across the net on who they either want to send their middle to, or like who they maybe want to focus on. And if they decide that each one of us is going to have a one-on-one block, that's way easier for us as well. So just having such a spread offense, and then also the depth that we have on our team to be able to say that, okay, they're scouting her really well, like let's try to put someone else in and like still have the same success, if not more, is really awesome.
Now that you've this was kind of an interesting year for Creighton because they had to chase the title down as opposed to kind of just getting off to a good start and holding people off.
Mm-hmm.
What does this weekend, represent, and what's the mindset going in, knowing that you put yourself in a position to finish the job and it's
Yeah.
straight in front of you?
I think we're really excited. I know that we're not looking ahead of this weekend. I know everyone's kind of saying you're in a really good position, but we need to finish the games both Friday and Saturday to really secure what we want. And I think we kind of want to revenge that loss we had early on in the season. I think we all know that wasn't our best performance, so we're excited to get back out there and show Xavier what we really have.
What's been the difference on this win streak? What's clicked that maybe wasn't earlier?
I think there's just a lot of different things that we finally got going. I think going back to, I guess it was more like halfway through the season after that Marquette loss, we really just wanted to analyze what was going on, whether it be offense, defense, kind of everything. And I think just in practice, we've worked on every little aspect and really just working on the little things. I think we go into practice working on coverage and serving and passing, and all of those are really crucial parts. And obviously we did that well in the beginning, but I think honing in on those little things, even just working on shots and stuff like that, has really helped boost our game.
Anything else?
Thank you.
No problem. Thanks.
You got a unique group because Kiana's been here with Whitmire, obviously. Kind of a unique twosome. Can you just talk about what they've meant for the program and the short-term and the long?
Yeah. Kiana's such a great story because, she didn't play significant minutes until her junior year, and that was still kind of in and out. And then her senior year is incredible. This year's been incredible. And I think it's a testament of who she is as a human. She is a kid that's going to work harder than everybody else, have a positive attitude. She comes in every day. So, I think it's such a great, it's the type of kid that you want your daughters to look up to, right? That she's willing to put in the time and get better, and she's such a great kid off the court. Bickelmeyer is just a steady force every day. She came from a winning program. One of the things that's impressed me with Bickelmeyer is every day she comes in the same way. And she's been in one of the toughest roles because sometimes she's starting, sometimes she's not. And her attitude has stayed the same no matter what. She's been a great team player the entire time. And really, I think, playing her best ball right now for the season.
Leading the league in block and hitting. I mean, a
Nice.
couple of years ago, did you see that coming, or where has she really progressed in the past year or so?
Yeah, no, I didn't see that coming. And in fact, I would say we always knew she was good off one foot, but what she does in the slide, those hitting numbers are really outstanding. And that's sometimes with teams fully committing to her. I would say the bigger surprise, though, is the blocking, because I think we thought her blocking was a deficiency. Not that she was a bad blocker, but for her to lead the league is because she physically is. I mean, she's tall, but she's a little narrow. But what she does is she's just got an eye for the ball. She's always locked into scout, so she's not going to miss a cue if a kid has a tendency. But yes, I would say her blocking has really been a pleasant surprise on how much she's developed. And again, I think that's just volleyball IQ more than anything else.
Not that you have one of those match, but the fact that Andrew got you around one, is that helpful knowing that these guys are going to have their full attention and maybe they might be looking ahead of your tournament?
They better not be looking ahead against anybody. I think every team is good. Both of these teams have won a lot of matches. But yeah, I think there's an edge when you got beat by a team that you're ready to go. But we better be ready to go on Sunday, too.
Kind of asked that's a weird way, because I imagine you want to roll in every match, shoot everybody and go home. But the fact that you guys had the big league against St. John's and you pushed a little bit, did you appreciate that in a way, that it wasn't easy, that you had, like, late in the season you had to find a way to win a match that the other team made you win?
Well, I think there's a couple things. Rob Anderson talks a lot about not dropping a set. Our program does not talk about not dropping a set. That is not the goal of what we're trying to do. So what we're trying to do is win matches and get better every time we're on the court. So that was never anything that we were discussing. We don't talk about sweeping. We talk about what we're going to do to be successful. And absolutely, I think it was good that we got pushed. And I told him after the first game, this is good for us. How are we going to respond? And so it was good to see us. And then in game 2, that was a battle too. And then kind of gain control of things at that point. All those different scenarios bode well, and we haven't had a lot of those experiences, so I think that's good that we did get punched a little bit and responded.
That's how I mark it. Yeah. So when you say that you don't talk about this stuff, and I know you don't, but hosting, back in your mind, did you think about that at all, about hosting the first round? Obviously, you got to take care of business to get to that point, but how much is that fun for you guys?
We don't talk too much about it, but I think that they are attuned to the situation. They know the top 16 are going to get to host, and they know that that's on the table. I think this team feels great playing at home or on the road, so wherever we land, they'll be ready to go. But, not surprisingly, that has not been a focus. And in fact, we've had to start talking about the Big East tournament from a logistical standpoint, our flights, some of the ticketing. And I don't even like doing that, because I want to make sure we are locked in for this weekend first and foremost.
When you think about mile markers for the season, how far ahead are you from your last time you played?
I don't know. I don't think of it that way, Matt. I look at, we prepare for every opponent. It has been a long gap. There's no question. Both teams are different. They have some different personnel. We have some different personnel. I look at it more of, are we progressing each week? Are we getting better?
Because you didn't feel like you guys were clicking, around that time. How close are you, or are you, in your mind, in your coach's best mind, to being the team you felt like you were capable of?
I would say, I feel like we're playing good volleyball right now, and I knew at that point we had pieces, but I knew we were pretty deficient in some areas and it wasn't personnel driven. I don't mean that because Nora Sis wasn't in. I just felt like, especially our defense, and especially that evening, was not good. And it wasn't good for several matches that we did win. And so I do think we've gotten better at that. I think we're a more disciplined team. I think we lean into long points. We've kind of made that something that, hey, we're going to, whatever, we can win it on first ball kills, but if it's a long point, that's great too. And so we've talked about some things. I think our serving's better, some areas that we knew we had to get better at. But, every team's good, and we got to perform on Friday and Sunday to follow up on those things.
Anything else?
Good.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
How long have you been in Omaha?